everyone, it's me, Vicki. How are you today? And welcome to yoga. This is slow flow yoga today. Today I am filming this video on a full moon day. And the moon energy is very, very fluid. It's very watery, it's very moving. Think about how the moon energy pulls tides, high tides and very low tides. That's all from lunar energy. It's very feminine energy, and it's very light but very powerful. So that doesn't mean that if you're a man watching, you have to be feminine today. I don't mean that. You can be whatever you'd like. As long as you're flowing with me, we're good to go. So anyway, let's take a few moments to check in with our breathing, perhaps dim our eyes or close them. And maybe even pick up the shoulders and relax them back and down once or twice to find any tension in that neck or shoulders and release it a bit as you're breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming inward as you breathe. Perhaps reminding yourself of the way an ocean or a river flows. Always obstacles in the way, yet the water finds a way around the obstacle, just flowing. Allow yourself to flow like this as you practice today. Perhaps if there's an obstacle in the way, such as a tightness or a stiffness of a body part, moving through it as gently as you can, but still flowing. Few more breaths. Perhaps today, as we start to move, the visualization of your body moving through cool water. On your next inhale, let's lower the arms and bring them up overhead, touching the palms together at the top if you can, and exhaling, hands to the heart center, thumbs to heart, creating intention for this full moon today. Full moon for me. It may not be a full moon for you watching, but intention for moon energy to flow like water today. On your next breath, dropping the arms, inhaling up, touching hands again. This time exhaling the left hand down to your side, letting the right arm relax up and over. Rolling that shoulder back, drawing right pinky finger downwards. Head can turn upwards. Good. Let's inhale up again, touching the hands if you can, and exhale, right arm down. Rolling the head towards that upper shoulder, breathing. Good. Let's flow these lateral stretches now. Inhale up, exhale, release down. Inhale up, exhale, release, opposite arm down. Just flowing. Inhale up and exhale, flowing, opening. Inhale up, exhale. Good. One more each side. Inhale Notice your core muscles working hard here. Inhale, last one. Exhale, release down. Beautiful job. Let's come back to center. And once again, exhale the hands down to the heart. Reminding yourself to flow today, just letting go. When you're ready, let's make our way to a table posture, all fours position. Take your time. Hips over knees, shoulders over the wrists. When you are ready, inhale to cow pose. Opening the heart, dropping the belly. Exhale to cat. And the same thing will flow a few times. So inhale to cow. Exhale to your cat. It's nice to close the eyes here if you feel comfortable with that. But paying attention to your spinal column and how it is flowing here. Like water, right? First one way in a flexion, and then one way in an extension. Keeping our spines moving keeps us healthy and feeling very, very good. It improves the quality of our life, right, as we flow. Let's do one more. So we'll go from cow to cat one more time. Exhaling, and then coming back to your tabletop again. Let's rest in child pose for a moment. Hips to heels, taking a few breaths. Now moving ahead, you can opt to stay here to rest your shoulders, or to meet me back in table. For another flow of thread the needle, let's inhale the right arm up just as far as you can, palm faces away. Exhale, palm turns up to thread the needle, but let's not drop quite in there yet if you get low in this pose. Come back to your flow. Inhale up, exhale, into thread the needle, and then back up again. And exhale. Today, one more. Inhale up and exhale, sink in. Now, if you want to drop your shoulder down to the ground, the side of your head to the ground, you're welcome to take those options. There might be one of you watching here who wants to release that left arm as a little half bind behind the back there. A little more balance. One more breath. Good. Exhale, release the left hand, place it on the mat next to your face, and inhale yourself back up again to your table. Very nice. Let's try the other side. Inhale, opposite arm up. That would be your left for most of you. Exhale, thread the needle. We'll do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, just working through any obstacles, right? Maybe a tight shoulder, maybe availability isn't as good on this side, just working through it. One more time. Exhale, release down into that thread the needle, option for that head to drop, the shoulder to drop, and perhaps for some, this right arm tucked behind the back in a little half bind. 2 breaths. Let's release that right hand, place it next to the face, and come back to your table. Beautiful job. Before we move on, stay where you are and wag the tail. In yoga, this means just swaying the hips side to side. Right, so just left to right, wagging the tail, checking in with your hips. Is there any stiffness? Is there any tightness? If you've been sitting a lot, perhaps you may feel a little tightness there. Or perhaps you do a particular sport that tightens the hips. So we move around there and then come back to center and sinking back into your child pose. Take a few breaths. Now we'll move on with our slow flow with arms out in front long. A lot of movement now on our mat as we inhale forward. Find a plank pose. We'll keep the knees down for now. Right, the heart shines forward. Exhale back to your child pose. Let's keep this flow going. Inhale, the knee down plank. Exhale, come all the way back to child. Just do what you can. Your shoulders will start to feel a little warmth, right? As an option for one or two of you watching, perhaps coming forward, bending elbows, a little drop into cobra there with the hips dropped, and then back up. So if you're looking for a little bit more today, as you inhale, elbows bent tight to the body and drop into your cobra. So you can manage this flow any way that your little river or ocean is flowing today, right? The inhale takes us forward and the exhale takes us all the way back. On this last one, let's come forward, meet in cobra for those that can. And then, when you're ready, slowly onto your whole belly. You can drop the torso there. Now, if you have room in the room that you're practicing in, placing your arms out to a T to the sides. If that doesn't work, keep them just a little bit bent, maybe like a little goddess arm. And we'll practice our Salabhasana pose in flow. That is locust pose. So when you're ready, see if you can lift anything off of the mat to extend your spine. So perhaps your legs will lift, perhaps the chest, the heart might lift. Then exhale down and we'll do a little flow. When you're ready, inhale up and exhale down. Inhale, float up, and exhale down. Just like you're a little fish floating on top of your river, right? Or maybe right underneath the surface of the water, this little fish, or perhaps some kind of bird for some, right? One more. Exhale down, very nice job. Let's bring the hands back to the chest horizontal and tuck those elbows in again. Inhale to our cobra now, right? Might be a little bigger for some of you in the back extension. Exhale to child pose. Stay there as you exhale for as many breaths as you need. And when you are ready, make your way to your first downward facing dog, lifting hips, tucking toes, shifting the weight back to find that upside down V shape that we call downward facing dog. So you may need to move a little bit with your legs and your feet, right? Little pedaling motion for some of you. If your legs are very tight today in the back of the leg, you could move your feet a little bit wider as you stretch, right? Perhaps to bend the knees like a pedaling motion with the wider legs. Please know that you can come back to child pose at any time if you're flowing around and you find that that's more comforting for you. Little oceans today. So holding this downward facing dog still, when you're ready, inhale the right leg to three-legged dog. Let's bend that knee and fan the knee open to the side to stretch the hip. Coming back to center. And then we'll bend that knee. Now take your time. We'll place the foot between the hands. Find kneeling lunge with your left knee down. Pause here. See how you feel. Make any adjustment that you need. Remember the integrity of the supporting leg. And then when you're ready, if you want to try, just bring your right arm up to the sky. Left arm down on the ground, or on the thigh. Let's bend that right elbow. And bring it back up again, as if you're reaching the sky. We'll bend it again. Bring it back up. One more time, we'll bend it. Tapping between your shoulders. Bring it back up. Good. Exhale down. Now can we twist it out to the right? Again, that same arm is up. This time let's reverse circle that arm 3 times. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale, let it go. One more. Very nice. Plant the hands next to the foot. We'll pick up that back knee. And any way that you can, step back to your downward facing dog or your child pose. Keeping the weight shifted back, stretching through the backs of the legs. Heels towards the ground, beautiful. Now hang on, we'll try that on the other side. Inhale, left leg up. We'll bend the knee, fan open to stretch. Through the hip, good. Back to 3-legged dog. Knee to the nose. Now take your time. That foot between the hands, your right knee drops down. Kneeling lunge. Find the integrity of your shape. Right, nice and strong, nice and solid. If you feel that you can rise from there, left arm in the air, right arm to the thigh. Little flow with that left arm, bending the elbow, tap between the shoulders, and back up to the sky. Bend, tap, and up. One more. And up, good. Let's bring the hands down. So the right hand supports, left arm comes up in the air for a little twist, and then we'll do that reverse circle of that arm. Just let that arm flow. Get some nice lubrication through that shoulder, right? Little synovial fluid. Last one. And then the hand comes to frame the foot. Beautiful job. Let's pick up the back knee, stepping back to downward facing dog. If anyone would like to join me in a gentle little vinyasa here, let's come forward, drop the knees. Find your assisted plank pose and let that take you into your little cobra. Inhale there. Come back to child pose. Tuck your toes and find downward facing dog. One more time. Come forward to drop the knees. Find your assisted plank. Drop into your little cobra. Lift the heart. Exhale to your child. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Very nice. Pause. Nice job. When you feel ready, walk your feet up to the hands, taking your time. Right, so forward fold at the front of your mat. Forward folding. So your legs should feel as if they're opening up a little bit now. On the next breath, reverse a swan dive, hinge from the hips and bring yourself back up. Hands can touch if you'd like for a little back bend. A joyful back bend here. Let's bring the arms around and back to our heart center. Nice job. to mountain. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up, flatten the back. Exhale, back to the fold. Reverse your swan dive, come all the way up, little back bend. Arms around and back to the heart. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down. Inhale, rise. Back bend. Arms around and back to the heart. Last one. Just like a flowing ocean or river. Your body is very supple. Things are moving, opening, stretching. All the way up. Back bend. Arms around and back to the heart. Nice job. So let's do a little warrior flow now. So this might seem a little complicated when you start, but it's really not, and it's really very flowy and fun. I'll do the first round of very slow, hands to the heart. Right foot takes the weight, left heel lifts up. When you're ready, and you can use your left arm as a helper, let's step back to warrior 2. Take your time. Good. Inhale to reverse the warrior. Front arm lifts. Exhale, side angle pose. Forearm on the thigh. If you want, you could extend that upper arm over if you'd like. Back to warrior 2 with your inhale. Now take your time, exhale, find a little mini chair, little chair pose, and bring the hands to the heart. Good, and up to mountain pose for 1 breath. Now we'll try it on the other side. Left foot is flat, right heel lifts. On your next breath, open to warrior 2. So my back will be to you for a moment. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2. And exhale, big step back to chair pose. Yay, right? Back to mountain for a full breath. All right, now we're going to keep this flowing a little bit. Right foot is grounded, left heel lifts, or you can float up to knee lift if you wish. We'll step back to warrior 2. Inhale to reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, step forward, chair pose. Back to mountain, full breath. On your next inhale, lift your right heel and step back to warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, step back to your little chair. Mountain pose for a full breath. Now we're going to keep going. If you get tired, stay here. Left heel lifts, or you can come to a full knee lift if you wish. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, chair pose. Pause in mountain for a full breath. Inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, chair pose. Mountain for a full breath. We have one more round. Inhale, lift the left. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to chair pose. Mountain for a full breath. Inhale, lift the right heel or knee lift. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, side angle, or reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to chair. Back to mountain for a full breath. See how you feel. Little balancing there, right? Take a few breaths. Good. Now let's come back to that chair pose. Let's really come back to that chair pose. If you want a little more, bring your arms out. We're working to bring the biceps of the arms up towards the ears, so that may take a little time. Maybe a few months or years. Pinky fingers again, rotated in. Option for awkward chair. That means we're lifting our heels up. 2 more breaths. Good. If you're in an awkward chair, let's drop the heels, come all the way up to extended mountain pose. That means you're tall, arms are overhead. Now let's release the arms, clasp behind you. If that doesn't work, just put your hands on your lower back. Inhale, lift the heart, drop the shoulders back and down, as if your knuckles of your hands were pushing down. And then exhaling, soften the knees a little more, forward fold, arms behind you. Honoring our practice today, right? Our flowing practice. Lifting the arms off of the back. If you'd like a little more in your shoulders today. 2 breaths. Good. Now let's bring those hands back down to the ground to frame the feet. Let yourself hang for another breath or 2. Lighten up on the fingers or even slide them behind your calves, drawing chest towards thighs. Release the fingers and hands to the ground. Very nice. Very slowly stepping back to downward facing dog. Nice stretch here. Let yourself linger and see how this may feel a little different than your down dog from the beginning of this practice. Right, so take a few breaths there. Just one more. And slowly come up onto the balls of the feet. Drop the knees down. Back to child pose. Take a little rest. Very nice job. Let the breath settle. Know that you just did a lot of work, but notice how you just flowed through anything that came in your direction, any little obstacle in the practice. You still moved and flowed. That's what our life requires. If we can keep flowing, we stay unstressed. Just move with it. Now, option 1 to stay here. Option 2 to walk your hands back to your knees. Now, if you can find hero's pose, that means your tailbone is tucked between your heels. If that works for you, stay there. If it doesn't, go back to your child pose. That's we want to be mindful of our knees here, right? So if the knees are not ready, the knee ligaments are not ready, quad muscles are not ready, then we go back to child, right? So if you're here, join me in sliding your hands a little bit past your pinky toes. If you can drop the hands flat, go ahead and do that. But let's lift the hips up. Draw the shoulders back and down and open up the front body. That's a little modification on your heroes. And then we'll come back, bring hands to heart. And this will be our next little flow, right? Hands plant behind and we lift and we open. Exhale, come down. Inhale, hands plant behind, we lift, we stretch, open. Exhale, come back down. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Good, 1 more. Great for stretching the hip flexors, that's the front of your hips. Exhale. It's all the way down. Good. Let's slowly make our way into a seat. Again, you can just drop a hip down from your heroes or child there. And we'll go ahead, I'm going to face you here so that you can see me a little bit better. Knees are bent, feet are flat, hands are underneath the thighs for Navasana, our boat pose. So let's stay tall in the back. Heart is lifted, shoulders back and down. I know a lot of you have done this pose. Let's try to lift the heels up, right? Now, if that works for you, you could try to float the feet off the ground. May or may not work. I'm still holding my thighs. You can let go if you'd like to. So I'm going to leave that up to you. If you let go, remember to stay tall. Try not to roll on back. We're keeping that core very integrated here, right? So if you can, let's cross one foot over the other. Flex the feet a little bit so the ankle is kind of holding that other foot there. And then switch. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hang on, there's one more. Inhale, exhale. Now come back to center, separate the feet. This is a little harder now, right? Let's exhale to butterfly shape. Soles of the feet together, relax, relax. Hands on the ankles, or you can slip them underneath, your hands underneath your feet, your toes. Relax, relax, relax. Stay tall for a moment, drawing the knees down, but you're really coming through the hips to do that. So feel the hip joint, let it sink down as if someone were coming up behind you, placing their hands on your hips at the top of your thigh and just pushing that very, very top of the thigh down into the hips, down toward the ground, right? Let's take a few more breaths. Now, if there's anyone here that would like to draw the heart forward, so my elbows are softening now. I'm bringing the heart forward. If that is something in your body that's going to enhance the stretch into your hips, then go there. So your back is really fairly straight here. We're just coming forward as if you're looking for something on the floor past your butterfly shape. Right? 2 more breaths. Good. Now, notice where you got to here. Just make a mental note about how far forward you are, if at all. And then draw the belly in, bring yourself back. Let go of the feet. And now what we'll do here is we're going to change around this left leg and bring it out straight. So your right leg still makes the butterfly. Yeah, the half the butterfly, right? You can tuck it in a little bit more if you want to. Let's leave the arms relaxed here, anywhere that you'd like to place them, but keep the body nice and tall, right? Soften the jaw, lift the crown. On your next exhale, come forward into one-legged seated forward fold. And notice how your face, your heart, is coming towards your left foot, your left big toe, basically. Good. Yes, it's okay to grab the toe with your left peace fingers. I know, if you're there, I don't want to hold you back, but be mindful that your back is nice and long when you're doing this, right? 2 more breaths. Let your neck and head be a natural extension of your spinal column, right? We don't have to lower the head down like we do when we're on our smartphones. 1 more. Good. Now slowly bring yourself back from the belly, all the way back. Let's take this long leg now and just extend it out on a diagonal if you can. We'll take our right hand behind the right hip. So your fingers are going to face out, away from you. Let's lift up the left arm. Now we're in a position to lift the hips off the ground. If you think you can, press into your right heel of your hand, right? And if you can lift, if you think you have the leverage there to lift your hips up, then go ahead and lift and tilt your pelvis forward, right? As if your pelvic bowl is full of water and you just tipped it forward to spill it out. And that's the feeling that you want there. Making a little room. 2 more breaths or whatever you can do. If you're not doing this, over time you will. Yoga is a lifetime practice, right? Let's exhale, bring that down. Good. Now, this straight leg, if you're able to come to modified pigeon, we'll bend that leg in, like the other one. If it doesn't work, leave it out long. Let's spin towards the bent knee, towards your right knee, and spin. As you're spinning, you might feel, for some of you, that you want to kind of crawl out away from your body with your chest a little bit. If that works, fine. If your forearms drop, that's fine. If your chest is on the ground, that's fine too. Please be mindful what you're doing. This is very, very strong through the back and the hips. Take a few breaths in this modified pigeon twist. 2 more. Feeling the breath right in that belly, right? Good. Now when you're ready, if you're low on the ground, we need to kind of bring those hands back, walk ourselves back around all the way to center. Beautiful job. Now this left hip has a big spin to do. It's got to come back to butterfly. A lot of work there on that hip rotator. Let's take the right leg out straight. So the left leg is your bent in butterfly leg, right? Okay, relax your arms. Lift your chest, your heart, your crown. Relax your jaw and inhale. Exhale, come forward. No rush. This may feel a little different than side A, right? So we're just here. The back is long, chest is coming forward. It's okay to place the hand somewhere, the finger somewhere, as long as we're not reaching out of our shoulder to do that. We're just reaching to what's there to hold on to. And take a few breaths. Check in with your neck. You might even want to close your eyes. Is my neck feeling like it's just naturally extended from the spine? Or is my neck twisted or my chin dropped to my chest? Then make a little adjustment to let that neck be nice and relaxed. If you ever come out of a yoga class or a yoga practice and your neck is sore, you need to take a look at that. That's significant, right? We don't want that. So keeping it relaxed. Let's draw the belly in. Let's bring ourselves back. Good. Now this right leg extends to diagonal if you can. Let's bring this left arm around back. So the heel of the hand's behind my hip, fingers face out, opposite arm in the air. You can stay here. If you think you have room or the leverage to lift your hips up, you can test it, right? If that's going to work, lift up and roll a little bit forward, like I said before, to spill the pelvic bowl water, that imaginary water. There's that water again, right? Letting that flow forward and out. And whatever obstacles here, we're just working with them. It is what it is. And no stress. 2 breaths. Good. Let's come on back down to the ground. Very nice. Now, this long leg, if you can, we'll bend it into modified pigeon so it looks a little bit like the shape of the other leg. And then we'll spin towards the left. It's good to just stay up on fingertips or hands at first and just see how the hips are feeling here and the back. And then if you're kind of crawling out forward from that left leg, just drop forearms if it works, or the full chest. Always checking in with your right hip here, seeing how it's doing. It's doing quite a big internal rotation there. So hips are quite vulnerable. They need to be strengthened, but they also need to be stretched, right? Equally. So we're doing both in our yoga practice. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Take your time to let go of this pose. Just kind of walk yourself back. Nice job. We'll just slide these legs together. So we're getting ready to roll onto our backs now. Take your time. So make sure you have the room behind you. You may have to move up on your mat a little bit for some of you. Just extend one leg long, pick up the other one, and roll yourself right back onto your back, bringing your knees to your chest, and rock a little bit side to side. Little side to side to side. See how you feel. Very nice. So working a little bit more into the legs, let's drop the left foot flat. Can we bring the right leg up in the air and hold it? Your knee might be very bent, that's okay. The leg might be straight, that's okay. Right? Holding it at the thigh. Starting to draw the thigh towards your chest. I'm going to do a little head to knee posture here. Now, if you want to take your right hand and hold the shin, you can. A couple of you might be able to use your right peace fingers to scoop up your right big toe, if you can reach that. Without any forcing. All right. Now, on your next breath, let's see if we can lift our face, our head towards that right knee and keep the chin off of the chest. Then drop your left arm to the ground. So your lower back is very, very snugly to ground. Then if you want to try, start to walk your left
leg out a little bit. Some of you might be able to straighten it a little bit. Some of you might be able to straighten it a lot. Just see where it is today in this head to knee posture. 2 more breaths. When you exhale, slowly bring yourself down. Let go of your toe or shin and bend into the right leg, placing the foot flat. Let's all meet with our left leg long as well. Can we bring the left hand around the side of that leg, of that right leg, and guide the thigh across for a little mini twist? You might want to bump your lower hip back a little bit to stack your hips a little bit more as you take the twist. I'm floating my right arm out to the side for balance here. Keeping the chest to the sky. One more breath. Slowly roll yourself back to center. Feet are flat, arms are at your sides, nice. Let's keep the right leg bent, lift the left leg up, holding at the thigh, right? The leg might be a little bent, that's okay. We're starting to draw it towards the chest. Towards the chest. Some of you might be able to reach the big toe with your peace fingers, that's fine. Can we do that without forcing the shoulder, though? That's a question of the day. All right, let's find our head to knee posture now as the head lifts, chin is off the chest. Right arm to our side. Now you can stay here or try to walk your right leg a little bit longer, a little bit longer. It may not go straight. It may be a little bit bent. That's perfectly fine. Still working on your head to knee posture. Lower back to the ground. Belly drawn downwards toward earth. 2 breaths. Exhale and release the foot or shin. Let's bend your left knee. Bring the foot flat and let the right leg be long. Good, now let's feed the right hand around the left leg, bring it across for the twist. You might want to bump that right hip back a little bit. Float the left arm to the side for balance. And breathe. Nice long spine as it rotates. 2 more breaths. Slowly back to center. Both feet are flat now. Both knees are bent, making sure our knees are the distance apart of our hips. Feet flat, close to the body if you can. You might want to walk them back towards your buttocks a little bit. Arms to our sides. Let's find our bridge pose as we lift the hips up. Draw the shoulders down. So shoulders are grounding and feet are grounding. Allow your knees to track forward as if they're walking forward. Knees walking towards your front wall. Finding a lot of space through your front body from knees to shoulders. Over time, you'll be able to lighten up your hands. You might want to even see if you can lift them up off the ground. See if that works. Let your shoulders take the weight of the upper back. 2 more breaths. Just lifting, lifting, and breathing. Exhale, 1 vertebrae at a time. Release this pose slowly. Let your shoulders relax as you come down. Very slowly down. When you feel your lower back touch the ground, 1 knee at a time back into the chest. Let's bring the hands to the thighs and give yourself a nice little hug. Bring the face towards the knees, the heart towards the knees in thanks. Release Releasing, letting the feet touch ground again and finding your Shavasana, letting each heel come to the respective corner of each edge of your mat there. Arms to your sides, palms turned upward if that's comfortable for your shoulders. Let your body relax, float the eyes closed if you're comfortable. Letting yourself be still, letting go of the work that you did for the last few minutes. And now just allowing the breath to flow. Unobstructed. Just breathing. Almost as if this ocean was a little churned up, moving a lot, and now it has settled in. It has come to calmness and rest. The tiny, tiny little waves are just waves of your own breath. letting your awareness come back from your mind into your body again. So wiggling your toes or fingers, perhaps you're making a gentle movement of shoulders, face, or jaw. We start to bring ourselves back from our rest, bending into the knees gently and rolling yourself over to one side when you feel ready. There's no rush. Coming to the side of your mat, taking a moment to thank yourself for practicing yoga today. Allowing yourself to flow through any obstacles. Be proud of what you've done. Let's meet in a seat as we usually do to end our practice. Sit any way you're comfortable. So today I want to leave you with a quote from Rumi, a 13th century poet that you may have heard of. The quote is, "We are not a drop in the ocean. We are the ocean in one drop." So continue to flow like an ocean. If you find an obstacle, know that you can flow around it, under it, or even over it. Let's bring our hands to heart. Thank you for joining me for yoga today. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.